Sometimes you have to get really pissed off before you open your eyes and see that something else exists. I feel the same way about Linux. So I've been using Linux on the server since late 90s, probably. We ran servers on Linux back then. I never seriously considered it as a desktop option. I never ran Linux before directly myself. I always thought, you know what? I want to focus on programming. I don't have time for all these configuration files and all this setup bullshit and whatnot. And Apple is close enough. It's built on Unix underpinnings. Why do I need to bother with Linux? And again, it was one of those things. I needed to try new things and try something else to realize that there is other things other than Apple. And again, it's not because I hate Apple. I think they still make good computers. I think a lot of the software is still also pretty okay. But I have come to realize that as a web developer, Linux is just better.
Yeah.
Linux is just better. It's closer to what I deploy on. The tooling is actually phenomenal. And if you spend a bit of time setting it up, you can record a reproducible environment that I've now done with this Omacube concept or project that I've done, that I can set up a new Linux machine in less than 30 minutes, and it's perfect. It's not pretty good. It's not like I still need to spend 2 hours on it. It's perfect because you can encode all aspects of the development environment into this. And I didn't know. I didn't even know, to be fair, that Linux could look as good as it can. If you look at a stock Ubuntu or Fedora or boot, I mean, not that it's ugly, but I'd pick the Mac any day of the week. You look at Omacube. I mean, I'm biased here, of course, because I built it with my own sensibilities. But I look at that and go like, this is better. This is beautiful. And then you look at some of those true Linux rising setups where people go nuts with everything, and you go, oh yeah, I remember when computers used to be fun in this way, when there was this individuality and this setup, and it wasn't just all bland, the sameness. And I think that's the flip side sometimes of something like Apple, where they have really strong opinions and they have really good opinions. They have very good taste, and it looks very nice, and it also looks totally the same. And Linux has far more variety and far more texture and flavor, sometimes also annoyances and bugs and whatever. But I run Linux now. It's Ubuntu based with the Omacube stuff on top, the low-free keyboard. I use a Logitech, what's it called? The MS3 mouse, which I love how it feels in my hand. I don't love how it looks. I actually was a Magic Mouse stan for the longest time. I thought it was genius that Apple integrated the trackpad into a mouse, and I used that. And I always thought it was ridiculous that people would slag it just because you had to charge it by flipping it over, because the battery would last for 3 months and then you'd charge it for half an hour. I thought, like, that's a perfect compatibility with my sensibilities. I don't mind giving up a little inconvenience if something is beautiful, and that Magic Mouse is beautiful, but it wasn't going to work on Linux, so I found something else. The MS3 is nice, but I sometimes do wish, like, the Magic Mouse is pretty good.
Yeah, Linux is really great for customizing everything, for tiling, for macros, for all of that. I also do the same in Windows with AutoHotkey, where you just customize the whole thing to your preferences.
If you're a developer, you should learn how to control your environment with the keyboard. It's faster, it's more fluid. I think one of those silly things I've come to truly appreciate about my Omacube setup is that I can, in whatever time it takes to refresh the screen, probably 5 milliseconds, switch from one virtual desktop to another. Even on Windows, can't get it that smooth. You can get close, can't get it that smooth. On macOS, for whatever reason, Apple insists on having this infuriating animation when you switch between virtual desktops, which makes it just that you don't want to. You don't want to run full screen apps because it's too cumbersome to switch between the virtual desktops. The kind of immediacy that you can get from a wonderful Linux setup in that regard is just next level.
Yeah, and it seems like a subtle thing, but, difference in milliseconds and latency between switching the virtual desktops, for example. I don't know, it changes
how you use the computer. It really does.
Similar thing with VR, right? If there's some kind of latency or
yes.
like it just completely takes you out of it.
Yeah. And it's funny, I actually had to watch, I think it was the Primogen on YouTube when he was showing off his setup. And I was seeing how quickly he was switching between those virtual desktops. And I'd always been using virtual desktops, but I didn't like switching too much because just of that latency. And it's like, oh, you can do that on Linux? Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I run that, and then my editor of choice now is Neovim.
Oh, good. All right. Well, we're out of time. No. All right. You did, for many, many years, you used, what is it, TextMate?
Yes,
TextMate.
TextMate.
Yeah.
That was the main blocker of moving away from Apple. Everything else I thought, you know what, I can swing it. But TextMate was and is a wonderful editor. One I helped birth into this world. The programmer, Alan Ugo, is a good friend of mine all the way back from the party days when we were lugging our computers around.
Nice.
And he was a big Mac guy. And in 2005, he was writing this editor. And I helped him with the project management of kind of keeping him on track, keeping him focused on getting something released because I really wanted it for myself. And I thought this was the last editor. I thought I was never going to switch.